gentlemen, to the Christmas special. When we look at the WWE, usually when it's around this time of year, we get one of two things. One, we get total filler until we get to Royal Rumble. I mean, this is what it is. Particularly around this time when it's Christmas. It's either they don't give us really much on Christmas, or they give us way too much goody-goody two-shoes type of crap. In this case, we got both. We got total filler. On top of that, we got basically good guys win overall. Now, I'm going to tell you about the things I liked. I'm not going to go into detail with the rest of the stuff. At least, the stuff I feel that was important to cover, I will. The first thing is good Santa versus bad Santa. I don't care if anybody likes this or not. I don't care if people like Mark Henry as a face or not. This is my boy. I enjoyed Mark Henry as good Santa. Why not? In this respect, on this show, this actually was okay. They gave it a week before advance to allow some promos to go up of Damien Sandow. I am kind of upset that Mark Henry wasn't given more time as well. They gave it on Damien, but as far as I can tell, Mark Henry didn't get as much. He got it on the show. I think they also did on SmackDown, but since I don't watch SmackDown, you guys can tell me below. But when you see this, I enjoyed seeing Mark Henry have fun. Look, sometimes you don't need to be totally serious. And seeing Mark Henry having fun out there was perfectly alright with me. But we gotta admit something here. Mark Henry, either as a heel or a face, you all know that Mark Henry's way better as a heel. So I don't know how long they're gonna keep this face turn on him. He cut his fucking hair off. He was already mean as it was with the cornrows in. Now he has no fucking hair at all. So he's a much more evil looking motherfucker. We really need him to turn heel. We need him. The WWE needs him to turn heel. So I'm hoping soon, by the time Royal Rumble is over, he will turn heel. Maybe when he's working with Biggie Langston, who I will be mentioning in this review. So seeing the fire extinguisher is not something you always think about, because we've seen it so many times. But like I said, it's not always about seeing the serious stuff in wrestling. You gotta have a little fun, and I didn't have a problem with this aspect of the show. Mark Henry won. He raised in his arms, happy as fuck, and the crowd loved it. They ate that shit up because Mark Henry's a character that we truly will love. Now I gotta say, with Damien, he did pretty well. He played his part well. Getting his face stuck into a toilet was different, at least for me. I've never seen it. But I really feel sorry for Damien because they could be doing a lot more with him. Not in this respect. He did well. But what has he done lately? Nothing. They have nothing to do with Damien Sandow. He's a good mid-carder that could easily go in the main event. But they have nothing for him to do, which is very sad. Now, the next thing I really did have a problem with was the opening of the show. Giving a Randy Orton a day off was actually a very good thing. Hearing how Stephanie McMahon wants to celebrate Christmas with her extended family of the WWE is actually kind of true. Because as much as you think they want to make money, this is a family that truly cares about entertaining the crowd. So let's be honest here. They love entertaining the crowd. They love the prestige. They love the glamour that they created. But they honestly love making the crowd happy. So this wasn't that much of a fake. This was actually a bit of a shoot. But here's the thing. What is Kane doing? This is the only thing I don't get with Kane. Kane has now gone into this corporate position. He doesn't get to be seen much on Raw. He doesn't get much to be seen on SmackDown. So what is he doing? Unless he's hurt, which I'll understand 100%. He can't do anything while he's legitimately hurt. You guys can tell me below. But honestly, seeing Kane like this underutilized is actually very sad. Because I was interested to see what they're going to do with Kane. But they're not doing anything with him. So this is actually very depressing to see about Kane doing absolutely nothing. Now here's another thing that I was surprised to see. Los Matadores versus Real Americans. Now you guys know how I feel. Turn Real Americans face now. because simply it's not about Jack Swagger being a good guy. No one really cares about him. Antonio Vazzato and Zed Coulter, if they get away from Jack, would actually get some traction. These guys really work well together. But Los Matadores cheated. Motherfuckers pulled a twin magic like the Bella twins. Flipped them, and I'm going like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be a bad guy group versus a good guy group, and the good guys tried to do healer stuff. And they still won, even when the healer stuff didn't work. So that means Los Matadores may be turning heel or tease of it. Am I upset about that? Hell no. This could be another kind of thing that needs to be done in 2014. I'm not saying now, but in 2014 we may have Los Matadores, maybe in the middle of it, turn heel, and maybe Real Americans will finally turn face. And that will give traction for Antonio Cesaro, so when they have to turn him away from, if it has to be Zed Coulter and Jack Swagger, it will make sense. Now, I'm just going to cover maybe 3 matches that I don't understand why they're on the show. Ryback versus Kofi. Ryback wins. Why? Who cares? Sin Cara versus Curtis Axel. Why were they there? Why? It's good to see Sin Cara talk English. Don't get me wrong. With Hunico as Sin Cara, I have to at least say this. I don't like the lights. I'm bored with the music. But hearing Sin Cara speak English is actually good, because if they expand Hunico next year beyond what Sin Cara's been doing and give him a proper feud, it would actually work. Now Sin Cara won, but who cares? The 12 Diva tag. What the fuck were they thinking? Particularly that at the end of that match, and I love my Naomi. I really do. I love that woman to death. But nothing could save that match, particularly when all 6 of Total Divas literally locked arms and started knocking women over like nothing. And I think it was the most stupidest thing to do, particularly that the crowd did not like it. They were either booing or saying boring very loudly in Austin, Texas. They were not happy about it. So they really made a horrible mistake with that. Now, I could talk about the Usos with the primetime players, and the only thing I want to say about the primetime players and Usos, and we know the Usos won, the dance afterward was cool and all, but what does this mean for the tag teams for them? It's another bit of filler. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the Shield versus, well, actually, there are 2 tag teams I'm going to talk about. Next to the primetime players and Usos. We should get this done. The Rhodes Brothers and Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatts. Now, I could have done the Shield with Punk, Cena, and Biggie Langston, but I do have a thought on that. My last thing. But let's do this. What did we really get with the Wyatts versus the Rhodes Brothers and Daniel Bryan? Really, we get a setup, I'm hoping, by Royal Rumble for Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. But I'm not sure what this will lead. Oh my goodness gracious. My paper does not want to finish this show. I'm sorry. I'm doing this very late. I'm very sorry. I had things to do today, and I'm very sorry this is being uploaded late. Even my papers don't want to be doing this. It's so late. But when you see this, what does this really mean for Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan? Where does this really get them? I'm very confused about this, because Daniel Bryan is not really doing anything. Bray Wyatt is a great gimmick, but he really has no one that's a true challenge. The only challenge he really had was Kane, and now he's corporate. So unless Daniel Bryan does an actual swerve and turns heel, this really made no sense. Particularly after SmackDown, when Bray Wyatt and his boys threw Daniel Bryan off. Why is Daniel Bryan even there? He's not Super Cena. This is where this entire thing doesn't make any sense. What they could have done, which I believe would have made the show much better, Daniel Bryan getting thrown off to the edge of somewhere. I don't know where. They showed in SmackDown. He shouldn't be seen for several weeks. What should have happened was that he doesn't get seen for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, leading up into Royal Rumble. Then he comes out and attacks Bray Wyatt when there's a match for Bray Wyatt directly. Then it would make more sense if they'd given us a cliffhanger this Christmas saying, oh, we have just found out that Daniel Bryan is injured and he still cannot be there, that he's still in the hospital, but he wants to be there and he will be really fighting to come back. That would have been more of a cliffhanger that they could have put into this Raw. I was about to say SmackDown, because it kind of felt like SmackDown a little bit, at least from my perspective. So in the end, this match, even though it wasn't a bad one, really didn't mean anything, and it made no sense going into Royal Rumble. It's too easy and too soon. Now the last match, The Shield versus Punk. I'll give it to you like this. Punk's promo was good with Renee Young. I didn't have a problem with it. Biggie Langston sounded alright. But John Cena just didn't really bring it together for me personally. When did it come to the match? 1. What happened to Roman Reigns possibly turning face? I don't see none of it now. Particularly when they cut the promo before the match with him saying, believe in the Shield. What was the point of showing conflict with CM Punk if you're not going to pull off Roman Reigns right now? You shouldn't have done it now. You shouldn't have made it so close together. It could have been a couple of weeks apart, or maybe a month apart, or something. It was like they began it and then they pulled back. The match was not bad in the beginning. It wasn't too bad in the middle. At the end, we see Cena and not even Biggie Langston. Biggie Langston wins the match. Cena and Punk get the final hits on both of the Shield. And in the end, you see all three of them standing tall, which really brought it down for me personally, because this really was faces overall. Was it good? No. This wasn't a good show. Fandango and Dolph Ziggler doing a Christmas present match on a pole. Was that interesting television? No, because I know that they're going to continue Fandango with Dolph Ziggler as a feud, and it's not even a feud. I really believe the WWE is really doing bad right now. You know what? The final thing that'll get me, when it comes to the Royal Rumble, we're only having one belt contested. In other words, whoever wins the Royal Rumble will go to WrestleMania to wrestle the champ at that time. I still believe that they could have done something more with that. And that gives Biggie Langston the opportunity. And I'll explain that in a debate of the week. And this is my thoughts on Raw. This was really a middle-of-the-run road. It was like a C-plus show. It really wasn't that great. I love Mark Henry. That's the reason why this show is... No, I'll give it a B-. Because of Mark Henry. I'm sorry. Mark Henry's my boy. That is why I'm giving it a B-. He's the reason I bumped it up from C+. That's the reason why. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Give me a comment. Maybe a few subscribes. But I really care more about your thoughts, your feelings, your loves for this business. Because when I learn something, it helps me to grow as a person in the wrestling community. And I wish to say that the 2013, YWC Slammies are out for nomination. I don't expect to be nominated. But you know what? The Off the Rope Show and the British Fist have been nominated. Give them a vote. If I am nominated, that'll be cool. But you know what? I believe they've done really good work. So give them a thought and have a good day.